Welcome back to This Explainer. Today, we're jumping straight into philosopher Slavoj Žižek's controversial, paradigm-shifting approach to the climate crisis. Honestly, if you've ever felt like our current conversations about the environment are kind of missing something fundamental, well, you are absolutely in the right place. So think about it. We naturally tend to picture the environment as this harmonious, beautifully balanced system that humanity has just rudely interrupted, right? But what if that romantic idealization is exactly the trap that's holding us back from making any real change?
Prepare for a massive philosophical rug pull right out of the gate here. Žižek boldly asserts that the balanced, pristine concept we call nature simply does not exist. Now, I know that's a seriously heavy claim, but as we go through this explainer, you're going to see exactly why tearing down this idea might actually be our only real path forward. To help us navigate this, here is our roadmap for today's dialectical journey. 1. The myth of Mother Nature. 2. Nature does not exist. 3. The green capitalism trap. 4. The inevitable metabolic rift. 5. Trail builders and dark ecology. And 6. Reconciling human and nature.
Starting off with Section 1, the myth of Mother Nature and the illusion of a balanced Earth. So, while we love to imagine a peaceful ecosystem that we somehow broke, Žižek is quick to remind us that, from a Darwinian perspective, the planet's history is actually just a series of massive, senseless catastrophes that occasionally settle into a fragile balance. Nature isn't some static, peaceful painting. It's a brutal history of chaotic collisions. Which brings us to Section 2. Nature does not exist. Confronting the Lacanian real. The crucial takeaway here is that nature acts as a comforting psychological shield. Drawing on the psychoanalyst Jacques Lacan, Žižek argues that our whole idea of nature is basically an ideological fantasy. It's a mental safety net protecting us from the terrifying, completely unpredictable reality of the climate catastrophe. We just really like to pretend there's a baseline normal that we can magically return to. But here's the thing, we have to stop viewing global warming as some kind of moral revenge from Mother Earth. Instead, we need to face the raw, meaningless disruption of our climate without hiding behind a comforting fairy tale narrative. The climate crisis isn't nature punishing us for our sins. It's just the chaotic, senseless reality of the real responding to our actions. Moving on to Section 3, the green capitalism trap, or buying our way to redemption. Green capitalism is this incredibly seductive idea that purchasing a fair trade coffee or organic, ethically sourced shoes can somehow magically offset our complicity in a deeply destructive global system. It's the total illusion that we can just consume our way out of an ecological collapse. Think about how this works in practice. By simply tweaking our buying habits, we effectively bribe our own guilty consciences. And in doing so, we completely avoid the massive, uncomfortable structural changes that are actually needed to save our planet. We end up replacing genuine political action with shopping, all while the destructive capitalist machinery just keeps humming along smoothly in the background. With his signature touch of dark irony, Žižek warns that mainstream ecology functions essentially like a religion nowadays. It pacifies the public with a false sense of moral security. We recycle our plastic bottles, we feel absolved of our sins, and that ensures the destructive status quo remains entirely unchallenged. Let's look at Section 4 now, the inevitable metabolic rift, exploring humanity's inherent alienation from the planet. Drawing pretty heavily on Marxist theory, we see that humans don't just passively exist in an environment. Our very capacity to create language, meaning, and culture creates this unbridgeable metabolic rift between us and the pure biological world. The absolute second we try to symbolize nature, we denaturalize it from within. Now, it is vital to grasp that this isn't exclusively a modern capitalist problem. Yes, capitalism radically accelerates the rift. Absolutely. But even ancient, pre-modern societies violently disrupted natural rhythms just to survive. Think of the Aztecs and Incas performing human sacrifices to appease the sun. They were imposing their own incredibly violent rhythms onto nature. Culture itself is the original metabolic rift. We have literally always been alienated from any sort of idealized natural balance. Which takes us to Section 5, trail builders and dark ecology. Let's look at this philosophy in the dirt and mud. So what does all this heavy theoretical philosophy actually look like in practice?
Well, there's this fascinating academic study from Sheffield Hallam University by researchers Jack Black and Jim Charrington. They closely observed mountain bike trail builders to see exactly how humans empirically negotiate a messy, totally unpredictable relationship with the environment in real time. And what the builders realized out there in the field is that there is no perfect harmony to be found. Constructing a trail is a constant, ambivalent process of simultaneously adding to and ruining the environment. It's an unpredictable negotiation with a chaotic space that completely refuses to be tamed. Ultimately, the builders are forced to accept the radical openness and contingency of the woods. This empirical study is a perfect illustration of philosopher Timothy Morton's concept of dark ecology. Dark ecology demands that we drop our romantic myths and accept our weird, deeply terrifying entanglement with a world that fundamentally does not care about us one bit. Finally, Section 6, Reconciling Human and Nature, the Dialectical Synthesis. This right here is exactly how Žižek solves the dichotomy of human versus nature, and he does it by completely tearing down the idealizations of both. By destroying the false idol of a pristine, harmonious nature on one side and the arrogant illusion of a neatly fixable consumer capitalism on the other, we strip away all of our comfortable excuses. This controversial yet highly fascinating reconciliation means we are forced to step up and accept the chaotic reality of our planet, without the cozy crutch of thinking nature will somehow find a way. Žižek's ultimate solution is stark, but honestly, it's pretty empowering. We have to stop hoping a benevolent Mother Earth is going to heal herself, and instead take absolute, terrifying ownership of the unpredictable consequences of our own actions. We are immensely powerful as a species, yet we cannot fully control the outcomes of what we do. We just have to navigate that tension. Which leaves us with this final, truly provocative realization to take away from this explainer today. If there is no safety net of natural balance to catch us, the future of this chaotic, entangled ecosystem rests entirely in our own hands. What kind of world are we going to build? Thanks for joining me on this deep dive. I really hope it changes how you look at the world around you.